Dom Nicastro here, managing editor of CMSWire. I am with our latest CMSWire contributor, John Horodyski, the managing director with Salt Flats, where he leads the insights and analytics practice. John, how's it going?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me with you, Dom. Happy everything.
Happy everything and happy CMSWire contributing, John. You've been doing this with us. How long has it been now? We can't thank you enough.
Golly gee, it's in the multiple of years. It's many years, many years. Great
Yeah.
organization you're part of too. You do great content. I'm very pleased to be able to be a part of the contributors for good content. So thank you very much for having me.
Yeah, you're the lifeblood, the contributors of the website. There's no question about it. I've been saying that for years. And John, today, what a topic. I mean, I can't tell you how much this resonated for me to see our audience get a relatable story to something that's going on in the world that is just so overwhelming. And there are so many layers to what's happening over there in Ukraine. And the way you hit on all these chords of what the impact of data is and metadata and being genuine in your language and metadata and getting things right when it comes to data. It's such a fascinating piece. And I wanted to ask you, what was the passion behind this? Through your words, I can just feel how palpable the passion is for this topic. So what sparked the post?
What sparked the post? Two things. Metadata does matter, and that speaks to a lot of what I do, and that does matter to me a lot. It's everything I do and the clients we work with. It's very much a topic for them. And it is something that we see in every industry, and it's agnostic. Metadata is everywhere, and it impacts data from the beginning right to the end. And secondly, I'm Ukrainian. And certainly what's happening right now in the world is something to be recognized with. And I thought the two put together was a great way to, hey, listen, this is all about education, right? And when we write articles, you want to make sure the audience learns something from it. And I do believe that this one is able to educate a few new items to people and just let them realize that metadata matters, not just for business and personal stuff, but there are big reasons why metadata matters. And certainly something like Kyiv, a name, let's say it right. Let's make sure we give the respect and that the identity of what Kyiv means and what it is, it's all about giving respect. So metadata matters for Kyiv, absolutely.
Yeah, and you being Ukrainian, and I wish your family and everyone, all your brothers and sisters out there, the very best, obviously, from the heart. And speaking of from the heart, again, your column, you can just see it, you can feel it. All your passion behind this, you really empty the tank on this. So we appreciate you doing that and coming. It's very personal, Colin, and that's what writing is. It's very personal. So we can't thank you enough for that. When you take the context of your topic and, how can brands like marketers or brands sort of learn from the things you talk about in terms of metadata, governance around the metadata, and just simply being authentic, when it comes to these content experiences and data.
Yeah, it's these little moments. We look around us and we see things and we get inspired and educated by many things in society. And I think a lot of brands can look upon this and say, how am I doing? Let's have a check-in time. How am I doing with my brand? Am I being respectful? Am I ensuring that the metadata I'm providing with this is good in all regions? We know that for certain brands, content changes depending on what region you're in. We say in North America, we say potato chips. You go somewhere else and they say crisps. Why? Well, because that's how they say it over there. So let's be respectful, but let's also make sure that the metadata is aligned to that. So we're delivering the right message to the right people. So I think when we start talking about language and identity, and respect, I think many brands can take this article and go, got it. Maybe we should do a check-in. How am I doing with our brand? How are we doing in the other regions? Have things changed? Many years ago, we used to say things like, and here we are in awards season coming up, and the winner is. We don't say that anymore. Why? Everyone's a winner. What do we say? We say, and the Oscar goes to. Why? Because you want to be respectful of the audience. So hopefully, I'm hoping that people will be able to read this article and then go, this is about this subject in Kyiv and Ukraine, but how is my brand doing? Am I being reflective? Am I being responsible? And am I giving great identity in 2022? And I think it's a good reflection for everyone to say, where's my governance? Am I looking at my words? Am I being responsible with my identity of the brand over many regions? So hopefully there can be some inspirational and educational opportunities for brands reading this article.
Yeah, and speaking of inspiration, you cited author Angela Duckworth's comment in the piece: language is one way to cultivate hope. People can learn to learn. I thought that was super powerful. Why did that resonate with you?
I read that about 2 years ago, and I wrote it down in the book. I wrote it down on a piece of paper. I put it into my iPhone. I put it into my tracker. Listen, language is everywhere. We speak it, we say it, we read it all the time. But I'm a big believer in learning. I'm a lifelong learner. I do believe that we, society, should learn as we go and learn and evolve and be respectful of things and change. And that quote resonates so well because it's all about language and learning. And as we progress in society, there are certain things we don't say anymore for good reason, because we're giving respect and we're being inclusive of the things we're trying to say. And that statement is just such a lovely, short word of inspiration for all of us, just to recognize that language does matter. So let's take the time to understand what the language is, but then, like her last point, let's make sure we're learning. Language is great and powerful, but let's make sure we have opportunities to learn and to advance and to be respectful and to have that inclusivity going forward. It's a great line. It affected me, and I wanted to share that with all the readers.
Yeah, appreciate it. And John, last question, I think you already have another article lined up. So we're excited for that. Your contribution with CMSWire is ongoing, and it's been for many years. You're one of our veteran contributors. So I'm sure people are excited to see what's coming next.
Yeah, well, I also take inspiration from many things around me, and Super Bowl. The biggest ads in the Super Bowl were for cryptocurrency and NFTs.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure many people were like, what's a cryptocurrency and what is NFTs? NFTs are non-fungible tokens. That's the definition, but what exactly is it? So Don, the article is going to be about metadata and NFTs, because everyone's talking about it. It certainly is no longer science fiction. It's a fast-moving thing. But many people are looking at it: media and entertainment, CPG, retail. What is an NFT? How do I start getting to use an NFT? Do I even need the NFTs? How do I use them? But the metadata behind it is so important to get the NFT going. So that was inspired by some of those things. And I'm very excited to finish the writing and have CMSWire readers enjoy metadata and NFTs.
Yeah, I've been reading a lot about it myself too. Just before this interview, I was looking at the impact of Web3, the impact on marketing of Web3, and how that's going to potentially change the game. So, yeah, the more content there, the merrier. So, thanks for thinking of that, John. And again, from the bottom of my heart, I think this is certainly this year, but even beyond, I think this is one of the most important pieces that CMSWire has ever done, frankly.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate that, and I wish you and your family, your extended family over in Ukraine nothing but the best.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
All right. Thanks for joining us, John.
Cheers.